Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kashmir Exists podcast. Today, I have with me a very special guest. He's going to be my co host, delivering you new information about Kashmir Valley. Hi, Ray. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Maria. Thanks for having me today. I'm really excited and I'm honored to be part of this podcast. We're going to go through some very interesting information, and I call it a journey, an adventure, to be honest. So let's get going.
It is. I hope that our listeners also take it as an adventure because very little people know about the Kashmir Valley, let alone all the different regions around it. That the Kashmir region is geographically and culturally significant area located in South Asia. However, its boundaries and political control are tested by several countries like India, Pakistan, and China. We're gonna explain and categorize these areas.
Yeah, that's correct. So interestingly, we have different and multiple regions, and they are basically controlled by different governments. And so we'd start with the main and the known, the Jammu and Kashmir Valley. This region now recognized into two separate union territories out of 2019. It is under the Indian administration. So those territories are the Jammu, which is a predominantly Hindu region, and the other one is Kashmir Valley, that is predominantly Muslim and considered the cultural heart of Kashmir region. There's another area that's called Ladakh, a region with a mix of Buddhist and Muslim populations located to the east of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the second region that we are going to talk about today is Azad, Jammu and Kashmir. And it has an interesting name. It's called Azad. It has the Azad, which we are going to touch about in a second. Azad, Jammu and Kashmir is a self-governing administrative region under the Pakistan's control, which it has its own government and military presence. It is located to the west of the Indian administered Jammu and Kashmir region. And again, as I said, we will touch on the Azad part. Azad actually is a Persian word that has the meaning of independent or free. And that's how we can find that that's why it has a self-governing administrative system.
Now, also, there is the Pakistan administrative area in Kashmir. It is called Gilgit Baltistan. They are bordering both India and China. It's strategically significant located. It also is very rich in natural resources. Now we have the China administrative region that is called Aksai Chin. Is located in the other side of the Latkan region. Now, we're gonna Azad Kashmir and Kashmiri Valley shares many similarities to the geographical proximity, common heritage, and historical ties. But there are also notable, very unique differences shaped by political, social, and religious factors. Like we're gonna touch on all these areas together.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, every region and every part of the world, they have their significance in terms of in terms of some areas of their lifestyle and values and culture. Now, I think we're going to start talking about the religious influence. The religious influence in both areas. First, in Kashmir Valley. The Kashmir Valley is predominantly Muslim, mainly Sunni Islam with minority of Shia Muslims and Hindus as well. The cultural practices in the valley are heavily influenced by Islamic traditions, such as the celebrations of Islamic festivals like the Ramadan and the Eids. The Eids that, Eid al-Fitr that comes after Ramadan, and Eid al-Adha that comes 2 months after that during the pilgrimage season. And also some of the significant and well-known celebrations or ceremonies are the Shia mourning rituals, especially in Srinagar, the capital. On the other hand, Azad Kashmir, the population is also predominantly Muslim, and again, mostly Muslim Sunnis and some Shia. Unlike the Kashmir Valley, religious practices are central to the cultural life. However, Azad Kashmir, the Muslims there, their culture is influenced more by the Pakistani traditions especially in the way religious events are celebrated and the role of Sufism, which is the Islamic mysticism, which we touched on in a previous podcast with Teishi. This has a more prominent place in the region.
You know what else I learned in that podcast? I learned about the Kashmiri language. Do you know that it's 5,000 years old? We says a lot about how long ago this Kashmiri Valley has been around. So the primary language spoken is Kashmiri, which is a Dardic language influenced by Persian and Sanskrit. The region has a rich literature tradition, particularly in the Kashmiri poetry. Includes poets like Aka Sahid Ali and Shams Fakir. Kashmiri literature has a strong ties with the Persians and Sufi traditions. Now, Hazar Kashmiri is also there speak Kashmiri, but also Urdu and Punjabi. So those are more on the southern area of the near to Pakistan. The literary tradition is similar rich, but has more influence by the Urdu literature, which is the major culture component of Pakistan. The region's poetry and prose are often reflect the culture or the historical ties to Pakistan.
Wow, whenever we talk about languages, it's really interesting. And here's a fun fact about even the Urdu language. Urdu is influenced by Arabic and Persian and Sanskrit. So, we can see some commonality here between the languages and the ties between the two areas. Of course, when we talk about languages and religions, so of course, we cannot really forget about the other cultural aspects. One of them is the music and the dance, right? Kashmir Valley, it has traditional Kashmiri music that includes the use of instruments like the santoor. Santoor, if we want to imagine that one, or we want to think of something equivalent, it is the dulcimer in the Western culture. We have also the rabab. Rabab is a chord instrument. Again, we can say it's pretty much equivalent to the guitar or the oud in the Arabic culture or the buzouk in the Turkish culture. And the dol. The dol is the percussion instrument, which is basically like the drums. Folk music in the Kashmir Valley includes the band pater, which is a traditional folk theater. Now, if we want to talk about band pater, what does it actually mean? Band means the jester or the clown. The clown. Pater means drama. So if we put these together, we'd imagine that it's actually a musical and a dance with plays in the middle. So basically, when you're watching it, it's going to be similar to watching a musical on a stage. But the difference here is that it's performed in open air, in courtyards, under trees. But actually, it is a musical. And that has its own roots in Islamic and Hindu traditions. Also, traditional Kashmiri dance forms include the roof, which is a folk dance performed by women, and the wuchun, a dance that accompanies festivals. On the other side, which is the Azad Kashmiri side, music in Azad Kashmir is also deeply tied to Kashmiri traditions, but it is more influenced by Pakistani music culture, including the Sufi part, which would include the styles of Qawwali and Nasheed. Qawwali and Nasheed, actually, both words are derived from the Arabic words qawl, and Nasheed is actually an Arabic word. So qawl is saying or words, and nasheed is actually meaning chants. So these are Islamic devotional songs. If we want to think about them, they are songs that are sang, but they are without any instruments. They might really have some percussions with them, but that's all. The rest would be depending on the voice and the vocals of the person who's performing them, right? There's also the Punjabi music influences there. They are more pronounced in the southern parts of Azad Kashmir, and there's also the traditional Bhangra dance is common in these areas.
Yeah, now that sounds very beautiful and unique. But if we want to talk about culture identifying, it's important to talk about clothing. Kashmiri Valley, the traditional attire for men is the perant. That is a long woolen robe, which is often worn with a cap called karaku. For women, it's the Kashmiri Dubata or Peram. They are very common. Now the Kashmiri shawl is like a pashmina. It's very famous worldwide for its quality. Now the Azad Kashmir, the attire is similar, especially in the mountain region, but with a Pakistani style like such as sawar kameez that are also common particularly in urban areas. The traditional clothes may also vary depend wherever is you are in rural or the urban area in the Azad Kashmir.
It is interesting to talk about clothing and the fabric when it comes to Kashmir. The pashmina itself, I've been around so many places around the world, and this is one of the most expensive types of fabrics. It is actually luxurious. But also, when we talk about the shalwar kameez, I don't know if you know what it's formed of. It's shalwar and kameez. Shalwar is actually the pants. It's a wide pants that would be worn, and the kameez. Kameez is just like, in Arabic, it's kameez, or even in Spanish, the camisa. It's a shirt. It's a long shirt that would be worn above that shalwar, and it is long, let's say, above the knee level, and it's very comfortable. By the way, I would love that to try that. By the way, now the other aspect that we could talk about, which is the festivals and the celebrations. In Kashmir Valley, the major festivals, they include, the religious ones, which is Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha. Again, these are the ones, Eid al-Fitr, the one that comes after Ramadan, and Eid al-Adha is the one that comes 2 months later, during the Hajj and the pilgrimage season. And also there is the Shia observance of Ashura. That is a very interesting and significant event as well. And there's also the traditional Kashmiri New Year, which is known as Naure. It is celebrated in spring with a ritual feast, rituals. You cannot also miss the shikara rides on the Dal Lake during the spring and autumn. They are also symbolic of the Kashmiri cultural life. On the Azad Kashmiri side, similar to the Kashmir Valley, we have the Eid celebrations as well. They are central. But there is a stronger influence of Pakistani's national holidays, like the Independence Day on August the 14th, and Pakistan Day on the 23rd of March. The Sufi shrines in Azad Kashmir are significant centers for religious gatherings, especially for Mela, or the Sufi festivals. Now, Mela, interestingly, is also derived from an Arabic word, and these also exist in this Arabic Sufis culture that is called Melawi. It's some type of a dance, but it's interesting, where the men would be actually wearing like a long and loose dress, where they would start spinning, rotating. They would pivot one foot and they would rotate, and as they rotate, the dress would actually lift, and it would look like a flower blossoming while they rotate. And you can imagine, like, spin for a couple of minutes. It would take me, an hour to wake up from my dizziness. But those people would be really spinning for an hour or so, and once they are done, they can just walk away. Simple as that. So it's interesting to watch. Actually, I really recommend that. And these are often also, these traditions. They're often tied to the Pakistani religious traditions.
I'm definitely gonna look it up. That sounds fun and very entertaining to watch. Now, I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite things in all cultures, the cuisine, the food. In Kashmir Valley, the cuisine is famous for his rich, aromatic dishes, particularly the waswan. A traditional feast they included Rogan Josh, Yakini, Kustaba, and Kewan, and the green tea flavor with saffron. The saffron is very expensive, as we all know. It's very rich. And we had a Kashmiri Pandit. This cuisine is from the Hindu community. Includes dishes like Kashmiri pulao and lotus steamed with curry. So they are delicious and very unique uh, flavors and textures. Now, in the Assam Kashmir, the cuisine is influenced for both the Kashmir and the Punjabi traditions. Kashmiri one is also a significant part in the food and culture, but has a strong influence by the Punjabi dishes, such as sahid, that is roast meat, chaplin kebab, Karhani, Roti, and Sahi. They are the most common in the southern region compared to the traditional rice-based dishes in the Kashmir Valley.
I can never stop talking about eating, and I can never stop eating, by the way. I love that subject. But look, there's another interesting aspect that we need to touch on, and it's one of the aspects that form the culture and the history of a country and or a region, which is the architectural influence, the architectural part. Every country and every region would be recognized and identified by their unique architectural style. And Kashmir Valley is one of them. The valley is famous for its distinct Kashmiri architecture, which includes traditional wooden houseboats. You can find them on Dal Lake. There's also the Shah Mir style mosques. These ones, the nicest and the finest artwork that you could find ever. There's also the Mughal gardens and the temples with intricate woodwork and craftsmanship. One of the significant architectural bases would be the Jamia Masjid in Srinagar and other historical sites. They are examples of the Kashmiri Islamic architecture. And by the way, Jamia Masjid, the Jamia, it's also an Arabic word. Jamia means the big mosque, which is the one that everyone gathers in, and the masjid is the prayer place. And Azad Kashmir, the architecture in Azad Kashmir is more influenced by Pakistani styles, particularly in Muzaffarabad, the capital. While traditional Kashmiri wooden houses, they still exist, right? But there's also a blend of modern Pakistani and Punjabi architecture. And when we say modern, of course, we would be talking about the concrete structure and the contemporary styles of buildings and urban houses.
Well, that sounds beautiful. And we need to talk about the social lives and value in these both regions. In Kashmiri Valley, family is central in the lifestyle, and in any social life revolve around community. The Sufi influence or the social culture life led to a strong culture of hospitality and spirituality. They are also rich in Kashmiri handicraft. In Assam, Kashmir, there is a similar importance placed in family and community hospitality. However, due to the connections with Pakistan, there are also noticeable influence in the Pakistani social values, particularly when it comes to dress code, gender roles, and influence in Islamic nationalism.
When we talk about the social life and values, I feel like, the East in general and the Oriental parts, it has always more social and family centered ties in the community. This is significant, actually. And, you can imagine that, people there, they know each other. They know each other's families. They're always connected to each other. This is fantastic, in my opinion. Of course, there's also a significant aspect that we haven't really spoken about, which is the art and the handicrafts. Kashmir Valley is famous for its pashmina shawls. We spoke about that before. And the Kashmiri carpets. Yes, one of the most expensive artworks around the world. There's also the paper mache art, the intricate woodwork and weaving traditions, such as the Kashmiri embroidery. Again, this is one of the most expensive ones around the world. They are all significant parts of the cultural heritage of Kashmir. In Azad Kashmir, the handicrafts are similar, but again, more influenced by the broader Pakistani craft scene. The carpet weaving, the pottery, and the embroidery are common. And pashmina shawls are also produced there, but again with some regional variations due to their close knits with Pakistan.
Now I need to touch about the political influence and the culture. The political instability and the conflicts between India and Pakistan have significantly affected the cultural landscape of Kashmir Valley. The region has faced for a long period of tensions, conflicted cultural expression, public celebration, and freedom of expression. Azad Kashmir, on the other side, and the political and cultural identity is closely tied to Pakistan. So the region has embraced the Pakistani identity. and his influence is seen in the culture, social norms, media, and education system.
Yeah, I can imagine how they would embrace the Pakistani identity. Look, it's a natural flaw, but again, when political aspects get into the act, yes, you would see some more discomfort when we start talking, or we would start looking at the differences here. But honestly, while Kashmir Valley and Azad Kashmir, they share a deep cultural heritage rooted in Kashmiri traditions. Azad Kashmir is more influenced by Pakistan's culture, especially in language, cuisine, and religious observances. Kashmir Valley, on the other hand, is still retaining a unique blend of the Islamic, Persian, and Kashmiri cultural elements, which makes both regions rich in diversity yet deeply interconnected. And honestly, if you have a closer look, you will find that the similarities are more than the differences. You would feel that they are connected and they are almost one.
Definitely, Kashmir Valley is very unique. It has been a sister for a long, long time and survived a lot of changes. And it's from the language to the culture to everything. It's very unique, from the food, from the clothing. So we have brought a lot of information to our listeners, so that I hope they feel encouraged to do research and read more about Kashmir Valley, the region, the culture, and the occupation they are going through right now. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for helping me with this project and educate our listeners.
Thanks for having me today, Maria. I'm really excited and I can't wait for our next episode. I would love to be part of it as well.
For sure. Most definitely, we're going to have you again talk, talking more about Kashmir Valley and the different subjects uh, we want to educate people out there, because, like I said in the beginning, it's very little known and it deserves a lot of attention. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to another episode. And I hope that you tune in again when we when we bring you more information. Thank you. I hope everybody is safe. Bye bye.
Bye.